Hey, Bri, doesn't it suck that the boss is always over our shoulder when we're trying to talk?
Jay, he should be entertained by us. Let's get out of here and finish this conversation.
All right, as long as it's not work-related.
Jay!
B!
How's it going?
Oh, cut you off right at the start there. I'm great, buddy.
I want to welcome everyone to the Work-Related Podcast.
We are related by work on Twitter.
Yes, on X.
On X? X. Is it X? Because it's like, no more? I don't want to be involved with you anymore.
You're
my ex.
back on X, Jay.
I need to get back. I've seen my fair share of things on X. I'll get back there too. But before I get into the technology talk to turn my wife off completely on the show right away, is the reason why I was a little bit late here is I had a technical issue at home.
Yeah.
My beloved IPTV would stop working.
What?
I know. I was fucking devastating. Like, this is a miracle. You know how much I love this IPTV thing.
Yeah.
And wish I did it sooner. And
but wait, you went from tech to tech because this is tech.
Yeah, this is different tech.
Oh,
I didn't want to go. I'm refused because I'll make you do it. I don't like starting the show off with Twitter talk anymore.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can. That's not what I was going to do. You know what? Maybe I'm trying too hard here.
No, it's perfectly fine.
No, because I could have segued into that.
No, that was a perfectly good segue. I screwed it up.
Yeah, well, that's good on you. Fucking, I'm not here to babysit you, but the fact that I have, I was just, again, trying to pivot for a different reason because it's a whole world of the Wi-Fi and IPTV that I don't know. Building computers, like, you know what I mean? Like these Wi-Fi cards, or, you know, you even said like whatever, Wi-Fi 5 or Wi-Fi 6 or whatever we're in. It's like news to me, you know? Like every now and then I've seen like an Intel chip number 2 or 4. And I've lost count now. I don't know what it is. When they come out with a new thing, a new whatever that's got this chip in it now, I've long stopped caring because it's all magic to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll just do like whatever. So I don't marvel in that part, but I feel helpless. Like now, even when my Bell was shit, like the Bell TV and the internet was shit, we could call them and try to get it. And it was so frustrating. Once we realized we got off of that system, it was like, why did we on that system? When I told you how slow my internet was before this whole TELUS thing, you know what I mean? Like you felt like we were such cave people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like so out of it.
Yeah, those internet speeds were terrible.
Yeah, it was like 25 and shit.
What the hell?
It was like it's like inhumane. Like
yes.
it's a basic human fucking right. And so this is how that whole thing worked. And even in other conversations we had, it's like you understand Wi-Fi, and I think I've tried to say that, like, I wish I kind of understood how it worked other than unplugging it and plugging it in, you know, and getting in there. Like back in the day when VCR, other things came up, like I knew what the technology was and I could kind of fix things, not internally like you can with a computer, all that, but I knew how to, I had a better grasp on the situation.
Yeah.
Even going way back to a Commodore 64 with a floppy disk.
Yeah.
And whatever little issues you would get, I knew how to fucking fix it up. Even if it was just taking the cartridge out and, you know.
blowing the dust off.
And so, but now this whole magic world of Wi-Fi, like I feel really helpless. So it's really never come down to that. Past week or so, it's just been every now and then a show would. This week has been terrible. Like the internet's working pretty decently, but these boxes I have were kind of glitchy. And I'm like, oh, it's livable. And then today it was not livable. Like it started off and then it cut off and I'm like, fuck. The guy that we deal with is very accommodating and I haven't had to text for a while. So I was like, I texted Tammy and called her, said, give me the guy's number. I got to deal with him. So I told him what was up. It's not loading up again. It seemed that there's no internet connection, but I could tell I have an internet connection. And the only reason I can tell I have an internet connection is the lights are on the fucking wire, the Wi-Fi. But also, I can
Your phone is working.
Yeah, I can go to apps on my phone that only need Wi-Fi, and it's working. And I got a repeater, and it's working on different ones. Later on, I checked the TV for Netflix, and the Netflix on the TV worked. So that's how I can, you know what I mean, like see things, right? But he doesn't know any of these things. What's that?
There you go, Jay.
Thanks. See, yeah.
You troubleshoot the shit out of that.
That's what I'm saying, but I still feel helpless. Like, that's not as internal as I wish I could be. It's not fixing I'm troubleshooting. That's a very good way. Thanks for pumping my tires there.
That's more than most.
No, I think that's very basic shit.
It is, but that's more than most.
Okay.
Trust me.
Yeah, I think you're just being nice. And so, so we have this. Like, so I'm in this world, so I text him and he calls me. Like I said, I got a little bit of time. And so he calls me back. We FaceTime so he can see the screen and he's telling me to do these things. So he says everything should be working. He says mine's working. He called his dad wherever he's living. Everything's working, so it should be on your end. And we get to like delete everything and try to reload, and it would never refresh, and it would say your internet connection. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. He said, try to reload your internet because I think it's an internet connection. And I'm trying to say, I think it's your box that's not receiving the internet, right? Because but he's troubleshooting with me through the phone, and so I said, okay, we'll try it. So I do all that shit. And I got two different boxes, one upstairs, and they're both in this same state of denial. And they started off right. It's just when it tried to refresh that it started like showing nothing.
Yep.
So I load that up, and then I go onto the Netflix, and I see that's working, because when I call him back, I want to say, yeah, like my phone's working, this is working, this is the only thing that's not working. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And so so I do that, and I talk to him, and just before I could call him, he calls me right back just before I came here, and he goes, yeah, it's the server.
Yeah,
like
I was going to say, this sounds like a server issue.
But like, that's all I was doing. But until I actually got to somebody to talk to, it was displaying itself as a me problem.
Yeah.
Right? Like but I don't want to be the first thing to go and run to this guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's not working. Like, I was out of my troubleshooting techniques. And I felt like, again, like, it's not that bad.
I think you solved the problem. You just didn't know how to describe it. Because immediately, once you realize that your Netflix is working on the same TV and your internet's working, then it's obviously a server problem.
And I wasn't fighting it. So it did get to that point.
Yeah.
But I had to leave it unresolved.
You should have told him, check your fucking servers.
I might have. Yeah, well, he was very apologetic.
Yeah.
Right? And he was saying it. And I am so appreciative. Like, this is why I don't care, like, what version of it's part of me that I love any technology. Different than you, like, just in the magic sense that I appreciate it, like, where it is, where it's at. Because he's like, sorry for this. I go, listen, you have nothing to be sorry for. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the service thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're quick to answer the call. I've watching TV from my fucking $100 fucking subscription fee, like, since last May.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I would have been paying fucking what I paid for you for the year was my month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
a little inconvenience is worth it.
Yeah. So I still think it's like in the magic world, but I'm beholden to him. Like, I'm his little bitch in this thing. Like, just fucking, please fix my TV for me, sir.
Yeah.
So that's what I was dealing with before I came there. But yeah, like I said, like, it's ultimately, like, I don't know. I don't know if anything like happens. Like, I guess you just know it's a server problem or whatever.
Yeah,
like, if that happened to you, I mean, it's hard for me to ask you what you would do, because you don't have the IPTV, but it wouldn't just happen.
But we have apps that use other people's servers. Like our MovieBox server our MovieBox app is.
That's right. So that would be the same thing.
$20 a year, and I instantly know it's a server issue. I just find some other way to deal. I just don't deal with it, and I just be like, whatever. I'm paying $20-something a year. I can't complain.
So you would wait to see if it worked the next day?
Yeah.
You would just find another thing to watch or something to do. Like, that's obviously what we could have done too.
Yeah.
Like, but it's been glitchy for a couple of days. Like, so yeah, I'm real happy to have him. Like, it does confirm or reconfirm my faith in this whole deal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like I said, part of me is just like along for the ride. I don't know how any of this works. It's so important to me. The Wi-Fi and the internet and the fucking TV even and all that. It's just like, but I just don't know how to make it work. I just pay somebody to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's not like it's happened to me in cars a long time ago when I was in high school. You know what I mean? I could take a tie rod end off, or you know what I mean? Like, open up a carburetor and all that shit. And now the car's turned into something I can't even recognize.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's no way I would touch anything. When somebody still tells me they work on their own car, I think they're magic too.
Right.
You know, like, you do your own brakes in the fucking driveway? Like, what are you, a fucking madman?
Didn't you just pay somebody to do that? That's how I am. That's my philosophy too, to be honest.
Like, most, like, for around the house shit.
For most things, like car stuff like that. Like, I just rather pay for it. I'd rather have my time mostly.
Yeah, that's the key, right? Like, the time.
The only reason I do computer stuff is because I like educating and helping people, and I like building computers. So that's the only reason. If I just didn't enjoy that kind of stuff, then I would just pay somebody to do it.
Like, that totally, like, that makes sense. I guess, like, the fact that building computers is just a hobby thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
If it was a job, it would probably be different.
It does make sense for you. Like, you would never buy a computer from Best Buy. That's
No,
like
no.
a box of. You see it. I can't find the equivalent of, like, you would never try to make your own keyboard or for a piano. Not like computer keyboard, you would, but like a TV. Like, that's where it stops.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know where the difference is. Is it because you just don't care how a TV works, or it's too hard to make your own? Like,
I know
it's
how
too
a
easy?
TV works, but you just have to. It's just a lot more sourcing. You would have to, like, get a whole panel from one of the big threes and they're already stretched because they're selling panels to everybody. So then you have to put that shit to
It's crazy that you even start talking it like that. Like that's deep knowledge. When
I get really into all tech, so I'm a very big nerd into that kind of stuff.
like so. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess just to know how it works. Like, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
just accept how it is.
Yeah.
I think when things change so fast, then I don't like. Even when like we went from conventional TVs to flat TVs, like again, people like in my generation, whatever, just like, wow, can you like see how thin that TV is? See how thin that TV is.
Right.
And I guess I don't know if you were in that era. Do you think you would want to know how it was like that? Like what made a plasma TV?
That's what started. I remember when I saw the first, I think it was the first OLED TV, and it was a Sony OLED, and it was this is when I was in Pickering, and they had a Sony store in there, and I went in, and it was the size. It was probably like a square. It was probably like, what is this, Jay? It was
like
like
a
10
6-inch
inches,
square.
6 inches. It was very small and it was very thin. And I remember looking at it and putting my debit card to it and being like, holy, like this is the future. I'm like, how? And it was like so expensive for that little thing. And now OLEDs are everywhere. OLEDs are in our phones. I have an OLED TV downstairs. Like it's just everywhere. And that's when I first saw, I was like, what is this OLED thing? Like, I know what LED TV is. I see LED. So what is this? And that's just how I started going down the rabbit hole of TVs.
That's
from
cool.
the beginning. I
That's
was
really
freaking
cool.
in high school.
That's like I don't have that in me. Like I said, other people, I'm just like it's just more from a hobby and what interests you that you just kind of know about it.
I think that's definitely part of it. It's fascinating. But the other part of it, which I always tell people, we already talked about this on the show. I always say technology is literally the most expensive thing other than a home that you will pay for on a daily basis. A TV is thousands of dollars. Your phone is thousands of dollars. Your even now all our appliances are so technology based, it's like thousands and thousands of dollars. It just makes sense to know as much as you can because it's never going to end. We know all about cars we know how a general car works, but I don't know anybody who can tell me a general way a TV works.
Yeah,
but you will spend thousands of dollars on it. I know you're agreeing. I'm just talking.
No. But I think I don't know. It's like a forced compliance with no blame on anybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like it's almost what I was going to get to. How we got to that place is like so the technology like just comes fast and furious from that like 6-inch screen that you're showing, and all of a sudden, the fact that like to jump into like how politics maybe be now and whatever. It's not a stretch, but all that shit was always coming from Asia.
Yeah.
Like even like back in the day, you know what I mean? Like made in Taiwan, made in Japan, like but way before China became a force in my mind, you know what I mean? Like my uneducated mind, it was always from somewhere else, and then China as well. But all that technology is always coming from there. Like it's not like you know what I mean? Like even like a BlackBerry that was in Canada or whatever made the States. Like, is this like? So it's gone on this year. Like as a Western society, well, as us, Canada, U.S., whatever, we just relied on them making it for us and not caring how it's done. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like that's something they make, you know what I mean? Like, it's weird. Like, that. Think of a tariff coming in now for a TV that's made over there that somebody rely on. It can't be built here.
Yeah.
Like they did it to themselves. Like, you know what I mean? We did it to ourselves in some way. Like, but you can figure out how it's done and you can understand why it's being built there. I'm correlating the two for the stretch, but just like in the same way, I don't know how they make the TV. I also don't know. I can guess why they make them there, and why we just don't have any of that capability of doing it here.
Well, that's only because those companies that invented these don't exist over here. Sony's not an American company, and they make majority of TVs. Samsung is a South Korean company, so they make all the TVs. Like, so that's just their thing.
Isn't there so what's the American TV company?
I don't maybe like Westinghouse, like a lot of these cheaper brands, or Americans don't really have like the Western society doesn't have like TVs per se and like TV panels. They don't really make those kind of stuff. They are leaders in technology because Apple's American, Google's American, like Nvidia, which is the other $1 trillion company, is American. So they have all these other technology companies. Intel is American, right? but a lot of their stuff is just still built over there while the companies are, which is what Donald Trump did. Their whole attack with China is why he made, like, Intel had to build like a $30 billion place over here to make chips. Like, they're forcing people to make the stuff here, which he recognized exactly what you're saying, because they would exist in the States but put their business somewhere else and then ship it here.
It's convenient that he's saying it now. I get it now, but him and the like were the ones that is in the first place.
Oh yeah,
like him and his
for
like
sure.
fucking like way back. Like they're the ones who left and got. So was it only just for cheap labor?
Yeah.
Like, is this the only reason why?
Yeah.
Like, and that's slavery.
It's way cheaper to build something.
Not
over
to be
there.
Building on it, but that's just building on the backs of fucking human beings.
It's way cheaper to build it. That's just, it tells you how much that they don't care about what Donald Trump is saying. Now, I don't even think he cares. He's just being a politician.
Yeah, I get
but
that.
The fact that it's cheaper to build it over there and ship it by sea or by air to come back over here is absolutely ridiculous. So.
But that's, in my mind, that's the shareholders of Sony, which are American. Like, you know what I mean? The American part of whatever Sony is. Mm-hmm. Like, Sony would never exist without the American backers of it from way back when. And then, like, even Levi's. Like, they're a California company, but they're made in India.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's not me or you. You know what I mean? Like, they can put it on as a demand for wanting cheaper jeans, even though you buy more. We were established.
They're not making it cheaper for us.
But now it's not. Now it's a global world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get so annoyed that, you know what I mean? They took it out of our hand. Like, they took it out of this society's hands. Like, they let Detroit burn, they let Buffalo burn, they let fucking Cleveland burn, and took all that manufacturing out. And now we're crying wolf about it later. Yep. And it's hilarious to me because I think I don't know how. Like, are you ever going to be able to build TVs in America?
At this point, it doesn't make any sense. They're so efficient at it.
So are we always going to just accept that there's going to be parts of the world that we can treat as garbage?
Well, I mean, it depends, because South Korea is a very big tech thing, and Samsung basically owns the whole country over there, and they're a very big ally to the United States and Western society.
I have zero idea how South Korea works.
Oh, so Samsung they own basically everything. They're like in the military. They're like everywhere. So Samsung's like a massive company that we just we only know as a front-facing thing, but over there it's like a really big deal. So when you're that efficient and you own everything, it doesn't make sense to come over here and build something.
No, but we also we don't want Meta owning the fucking government.
Oh, hell no.
We don't, but that's what basically you're saying.
But that's what, because Samsung is... It brings in so much money to the country. It's Samsung. Who doesn't know what Samsung is?
No, I understand.
Right? So it brings in so much money to the country that it's just like, there's other companies like that, notably in China, that basically have so much influence because they do so much that it's if Samsung would go away, that country would start to crumble.
Yeah,
that's how big it is. That's
gross to me. Like that, the power that a company has over a country.
Yeah,
like it's something that just doesn't seem like it just seems bought for. You know what I mean? Like I might be naive.
Grown. It's a homegrown country, right?
I understand they're from, but it's still a corporation. Like corporations are not for people's interests. Like, I don't know how they tie that in. It's nice to build a park or whatever they do with their money. Again, I don't know how to, I don't know my naive nature of how I think of the government working for the people. You know what I mean? And how it's always some money backing something and what that money means. Yep. And even my own government's corrupt dealings and whatever they do to fucking make me live in like a great country. But I always just like how a TV works. I don't fucking just whatever. Like, I don't care. I'll pay my taxes, just keep the fucking roads safe and doing all that kind of stuff. I'm not, even when I'm voting, like, I'm not like deep into the knowledge of how the system works. Mm-hmm. It's annoying to me how the system works because of the people in the system.
Yeah.
Right. And so I see that. But when it becomes like just a thought of like Apple or like a fucking like Ford or GM being the major driving force of the fucking company of the country, seems like you're a little self-interested there.
Well, in some cases they have no choice. Like in Canada and the United States, that could probably never happen because it's just the economic buying power of our countries is way bigger than any one company. But when you're a smaller country like Taiwan, for example, which is the leading semiconductor. They make all the chips in Taiwan.
Yeah.
Right? You have no choice because it's not like their government is gonna be able to overpower any, like the Americans in Canada, they bully companies all the time, even if it's arbitrary sometimes for some bullshit like, oh my god, you didn't put this in the right place. And the same thing with the EU, they bully countries all the time, but smaller countries, they just can't do that.
So what if what if Jamaica, you know what I mean, like an independent country, like, you know what I mean, like closer to home for you, is like was like bought maybe it is, maybe because tourism is so important to a place like Jamaica.
There you
Do you think
go.
it's bought by like the Hyatts or the Holiday Inn or
Tourism is so big in Jamaica's kind of it's harder for Jamaica because they have a lot of what do we say? They export a lot of stuff, not physically, but in terms of like music, in terms of like everybody knows what a Jamaican patty is. Everybody knows like all these things. If you were to say something like, Cuba was previously heavily reliant on Canadian tourism.
Yes.
Right? And so all these hotels and all these stuff is the reason why they're heavily reliant is because of the United States and the whole mafia stuff. Like that's how much power, that's how much influence other companies have on a smaller country that can't do anything.
So in my mind, not to like cut you off, sorry, but like
cut me off.
my only knowledge with the Cuba thing is it's like the government restrictions on dealing with with Cuba just stopped American companies from doing what the Canadian companies could still do business with them.
Yeah,
that allowed their tourists
Americans
to go.
couldn't even travel there, right?
Yeah, no, that was their own government's fucking dealing.
Yeah,
like that's like even if you had like. So yeah, I've not had to personally deal with that kind of thing. So yeah, so if then you're Cuba, you still exist without the U.S.'s fucking trading partner ally. Like
or you couldn't exist without Canada.
No. You have other ones to go. Like that's what I'm saying. Like we're not forced to join. Why wouldn't the U.S. force us to fucking join that as well? If we were like a good ally, the fact that those two never happened shows like a distinguishing line between what we kind of have to do for them and we like don't do.
Yeah.
And so this is where my annoying part is. What's that?
As a 51st state.
See, what my annoying part is, it's not a joining thing. Like I would hate that fucking Jamaica became sponsored by the fucking Hyatt Hotel, or you know what I mean. Like it's, even though it's like it's. I don't know if it's great for all the people.
Yeah.
That your only hope now is to fucking like we abandon doing anything else other than being tourism.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't know there may be no answer.
But there's a lot of islands and stuff like that.
No,
right?
I understand. I'm only bringing up Jamaica because it's like, you know what I mean? It's
no,
from
I know
you.
why.
I can think of a whole bunch of other little countries. I'm watching this weird fucking show. It's a National Geographic show and it's great. It's called Mysterious Islands. And they go all around the world with these like islands, like around all over the place. And you start to realize there's so many little islands everywhere. Just fucking like here, there, and everywhere, right? And then fucking like all been found. They all have some secret past on them. They've all been doing, but most of them are already like, oh, these are the British fucking something or others, or these are the Americans. Like they've all been claimed.
Yeah.
And like, I just don't know how you like. I get how in the past you've claimed an island because you found it and you landed on it and you've done there, and be damned with the people. But like that's like I don't like you. It sounds like he wants to do that now, but it hasn't been done like that in a while. I don't know. Maybe that's the whole North Korea South Korea fight. Maybe that's the whole Crimea fight. You know what I mean? Like these people are still trying to get dominated when they're trying to be independent.
Yeah.
And so that seems like such a Viking type of way. I don't even want to be naive, you know what I mean, and say the world's a happy-go-lucky place. But aren't we all just better off, like being partners with the countries that make the conductors and being partnered, like however they're sponsored by? Like that's a whole different ugly thing that they're sponsored by Samsung.
It depends on which side you're on, I guess.
Well, like I said, for some of like I recognize that if Hyatt's, if tourism is sponsoring, is keeping Jamaica afloat in a certain way, I guess then at least the people have something to do, right? But then that's the same rationale for paying people at Foxconn with the nets around the building so they don't jump off, like pennies on the dollar to build iPhones, so we can have them. And so, but it's the same thing. Like nobody agrees with them making their workers work like that for phones. And so it seemed the same way with the resorts. It's like, yeah, you don't really see the ugliness of how desperate, you know what I mean? How desperate the people are to get these jobs. And they play on that. So do you want to go back to the slums or do you want to fucking work in the fucking restaurant? You know what I mean? Like for fucking pennies on the dollar. And then watch all these fat cats come in and fucking throwing their money around, just living off of, you know what I mean? Like I don't think it was good for morale. Like it might be only thing for existence, but that's sad to me.
Yeah.
That's like sad. So I'd rather, this is where the whole 51st state thing is like, I have zero I like to be a bully every now and then to get what I want, I guess. I mean, I'd be a hypocrite if people, I'd say I can't recognize using what you might have to get what your way or whatever, and I'm not a businessman in any type of way, but this lack of partnership, this lack of fucking, like, I mean, like, even this whole fucking thing, like you can even go with the plane crash, like is it because you got rid of FAA regulations all of a sudden, like things are going on, like just a refusal of working with the other side. And this fucking, like, now this seemed 4-year cycle of blue, red, like it's fucking nauseating, but it seems like there's no, it's counterproductive.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you're at work, you're a babysitter now where you have to get everybody to go along. You can't just separate, like you're finding it a way, like you can't have night shift, day shift. Like that separating line is creating an us and them where we need to be cohesive. And it's a lot of kumbaya and you got to, whatever, like, you think you might gotta, I don't know, just considering the other side takes something away from you is a bad way to look at it. I don't think, and so I hate that I just don't understand it. Other than a business tactic or whatever, being so insular, like I expect a lot of rough time. Like our dollar will go down, whatever it is, but I do think it's easier to get more trading partners now. It's easier to fucking, like, for Taiwan, and I'm obviously because all the major companies are in the States or whatever, right? But that's just because of the way it was. And if he just wants to change things because it was only the way it was for whatever his bullying tactics are, then we get to rewrite everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know what, like, I just don't know what the good of any of that comes in. Like I you know what I'm trying to say? Like I want to buy a build in Canada and I can see them wanting to build in USA, but like the more you're just insular as a person without being more outgoing, I'm worse off than I am for just putting myself out there a little bit. Doing this podcast, just, you know what I mean? Like anything, going out of, you know what I mean? Like a natural desire to just do it on my own. Even just ask for help for somebody to hold your tape measure. It's like, oh man, so lame. I got to ask somebody to hold my tape measure. But yeah, but this is fucking so long.
Yeah,
like, of course you should ask for somebody for tape measure. It makes it easier.
Collaboration,
That's
baby.
what I'm saying. So I hate the lack of collaboration.
Yeah.
I don't want to take all of Taiwan's chips. Maybe we should make some here. I don't know. But it doesn't seem we designed that to ever happen. The design of the world the way it is now is by the same people generally that are trying to undo it now.
So do you think Donald Trump's making a mistake the way he's going?
I am, yeah, I do. When I was stumping from before, it was from an American blue collar point of view. Yeah, and I'm trying to see that point of view as well, but I can't. I'm still the blue collar guy, but I'm looking at it from the Canadian point of view, and I'm looking at it as it's a gross. Yeah, I don't think he's doing very good at all. I think he's just doing red Republican things that he wants to do. I think that I don't think he's doing anything. I think he's doing things for egocentric ways. Mm-hmm. I think he's doing things like he always did before with regard of how it is just to get headline. Like, I don't understand it. I think it's a huge mistake. I mean, I've said to you, and I don't know, other than some of the staples like oil or fucking wood or fucking whatever, I don't know what we sell to them. Like, I look at our company and we have a connection with some of the trucks, and I don't know why they can't build those trucks in America. Like, I don't know what the politics of what that is. I don't know why Stelco has been U.S. steel for fucking decades. Yeah. Right? Like, yeah, they go buy, but that's an American company that's building steel for a company that's a decade, you know what I mean? Like, centuries old. Yeah. And it's fine. You know what I mean? It's a partnership. You know what I mean? Like, we got, like, so I don't know what's wrong with that. And that's the same. So to bust it all up for fucking headline sake, even the fact if he wants to have the border thing or do whatever, listening to Trudeau talk about, well, how did the $850 million of cocaine get into Toronto? Like, it was through your whole country. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, talk about little bits of fentanyl getting down. Cocaine got all the way up here. Like, can you stop that from happening, Mr. Trump? Like, but
Well,
that headline
he's gonna
won't.
say that's why I'm doing Mexico too. That's
Yeah,
why
no,
I'm doing
he'll find something to say
Mexico.
because that's all he has.
Yeah.
And know what's hilarious is I can find just as many examples as he looks like a fucking dementia fucking patient as much as Biden did. He looks like he's fucking like he just talks off the cuff and he's got no substance. He's got all the power. He thinks he's a king.
Yeah, well, they put him there. They
No, but
propped
it's not
him
a
up.
king. That's the whole point that we don't want kings. And he's acting like a king.
Yeah, that's
And it's
true.
gross. Nobody else has acted like a king. Like he, you know what I
That's
mean?
a
Like,
good point.
like off with his head, off with his head. Like he's a you would think the appeal part of comes to like, yeah, the pulling your bootstraps up or whatever, or being that, but he's far from that. The more I see it, he is just a manipulator. I don't want to call him even a master of anything. He is fucking just dropped into there as a guy that was in media before media became a thing.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like fucking just in the zeitgeist. Everybody fucking kind of knew. And it's funny when he's fucking doing this on that, whatever. But now it's just gross. Like I don't know how much is the same with other things and I don't see it. So the whole talk of it, I would rather fucking even what I just heard about him talking today about, and we talked a little bit about it, but nobody would bother going deep into the pod on that, is the countries that want to get off the US dollar. What's
Yeah.
that BRIC?
BRICS, yeah.
BRICS. And he's like threatening this and that or whatever. I think that's just going to accelerate that.
Yeah.
And it's not going to give the dollar more power. Like it's hard to, other than military, other than going around with your big ships and fucking starting wars. But you know what? You've lost, like, you know what I mean? Like you've lost every other war you've gone into.
Yeah.
And if you want to start a world war like you're Germany in fucking 1930, so because you want to take over Canada, Mexico, Greenland, then you're going to get the rest of the world. Like, again, you can laugh at what they can compare with the Americans, but maybe not all together.
No, it'll be a problem.
It would be a problem that they're causing for other than just a king wanting to get his jerk off in front of the fucking TV for everybody. And I can't not see that now. All I can just do is ignore it. And so that's why I wasn't on Twitter.
What?
No, I got
Jay.
the only so that's how I feel. Like, how are you feeling about this now? You were all for being a 51st state the other day.
No, I was not.
Well, you said something more to the effect of that.
I said we would love
I
to have
apologize.
a dollar. I said I would love to have the American dollar, just like BRICS is trying to do. I think a North American dollar, because it's the strongest, would make the most sense.
I agree, but that's not what's being talked about.
That's what I actually heard somebody. Who did I hear say on it on the newscast? He said, "Oh, it was Kevin O'Leary," but he mentioned that in a bunch of other stuff. And the only thing I said I thought I would take from that is that the dollar economically makes the most sense, especially because we're neighbors and we trade. I'm including Mexico, and we trade. And when you go to you can buy stuff with American money here already.
Yeah.
You can buy stuff in Mexico with American dollars.
Yeah.
You can go a lot of places in the world and buy stuff with American dollars.
Everywhere.
What is the point of us having a separate dollar? That
Yeah.
was my only thing that I could take away from that. The rest of it, like, I don't know. I don't know about being a 51st state. I think our way of our quality of life is already much higher, so there's no real benefit other than taxes. The way they do taxes is different, but
I agree with you in the dollar. I don't know how we, like, the fact that we're here where we are now is I don't know how to undo that.
just like BRICS is doing it over there.
Yeah, they're trying. They're obviously they're having a big fight.
Just like the euro.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So it did happen.
Yeah.
They did happen, but they had to all come together, right? Like, so what in my mind, it's just like I'm not opposed to that. I just don't know how that kind of happens. But that's not like that's more of a partnership to me.
Yeah.
But it's not being it's not being talked about like that. It's being about like this war, these tariffs and all this bullshit stuff.
Yeah.
And if I'd rather everything just go more smoothly in the direction that you're talking about and go there. But
it would have to be how our money looks, not how their money looks.
What do you mean?
I think the Canadian money looks better.
You wouldn't get them. No, you're
No,
gonna
that
have
would
fucking
never
the
happen.
Illuminati pyramid. You're gonna have the
fuck
fucking all that
They
shit
all
on there.
just basically the same color. It's so bland. Like, get out of here.
So I'd rather go that would be what I would want, and I would, but to be more of a sticking my like to hate being bullied around or do whatever and just see like what more is out. Like, so if they're not going to be our trade partner or whatever, what if you like I said, we get more of a trade route with fucking the European nations? And what if we just became part of the European Union instead?
What if we got the euro?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, why couldn't you do that?
That would work. The only reason I say this way is because we all share borders. We're all in the same
Yeah, but they're
continent.
cutting that down.
But if they're cutting that down, I mean, a euro is pretty powerful too, you know?
That's what I mean. And then we would give them our, you know what I mean? Like, we could just have freer trade from there.
That'd be crazy.
So I always, but this is, the way you're right, though, is this like, it's all just story time, right?
Yeah.
But when was gold, like everybody knew gold, right? Like, but always this like, I'm guessing they wanted to know whose stamp was on the gold.
Yeah.
Is this like a Roman gold coin or a British gold coin, or, you know what I mean? Like, there still must have been different value, even though you had a physical thing. But it wasn't, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't think it ever, at first I was just going to say gold was gold. And everybody had the same value on it.
Yeah.
But there must have always been a difference in gold.
There must have been, but because I think when gold was gold and they were using it, the world was so much smaller. And then once the world started to get bigger and they started to say, well, but is there a difference in quality in gold from per continent that you go to? Like, I don't know.
I'm not even going by that.
But I'm just saying, like, when gold was used as like a straight currency, it was all so small. You know, it's like you would never go from Egypt and go to the United States and say, I have Egyptian gold. You would probably never even get there in those times. Like, we're talking the West, when the gold rush and you're freaking siphoning through water for gold. Like, it wasn't like the world just wasn't as big as it is now. This is why it seems like colonialism when he wants to take over Greenland and Canada, because that's what I was going to say. You had English gold, Dutch gold, Portuguese gold, and Spanish gold, maybe Italian gold. Yeah. And that was because that's who landed on the fucking land. Yeah, yeah.
And but nobody wants that. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, we're not, you're not, you can't be for that anymore.
No.
Right? Like, that's the subjugation of, like, people. And you can't, like, so, but even at that time, that's why, like even now, like, there's a fucking French Guiana, British Guiana, and fucking Dutch, and whatever it is. And that's just so archaic. And I don't know if they all use different dollars, but, like, their own little economy. It doesn't affect you and me, or we don't know how it affects you and me or whatever, right? And so, like I said, other than, like, the dollar always going up and down and whatever it is, like, I wish, or I still just want to be the person that just didn't pay attention to it and just let it happen. Like, because I don't know how to change it. Like, just keep hearing this stuff other than ignoring the news. Like, Tammy is so, just putting shit out there. She wants to pull her fucking eyes out every time she hears Trump's name fucking mentioned or hears him speak. The fucking helicopter crash thing. Yeah. And he starts going off about, this DEI.
Yeah,
and that's like, what are you saying?
What the hell are you talking about?
Like, as a human being, it just fucking, it makes you either mad or sick.
But, I mean, he said that he doesn't really explain himself well.
No, he just spouts shit. That's what I'm saying. He's a dementia patient.
He said
he goes
DEI,
off on tangents.
And he's like, because of psychological this and that. And at the core of it, he was basically, I would hope he's trying to say this, that instead of using a DEI standard of hiring people, why wouldn't you hire people who are the best people for the job? That's what I would hope he was trying to say. It didn't come off nearly like that, because to me, that makes sense. Do I have to hire you because we're doing this DEI stuff, or can I hire the person who? Because he talked about the test, the psychological test. All the people who score the highest on the test, and if all those people score the highest on the test are Asian, I should hire all Asian people.
Yeah,
but that's what I think he's trying to say.
No, that's what you and I see the DEI problem being.
Yes.
That's what people we've heard talk way better than you and I, and especially him, say it in that way. It's like you can't just it's wrong in a human sense to not give the job to the best person.
Yeah.
Or the person that should have qualified. Anything other than, but I'm also don't know when, like, I have to feel for the person, because DEI doesn't affect me. Other than test scores. We're coming from a place where you just look at the person.
Yeah.
Right? And so I don't know how you balance that out. And it's so easy to point out where it might be the wrong thing. If you watch a fire station show on TV, you'll see that 3/4 of the show are gay women. You know what I mean? Like there's one straight white guy. I'm not complaining. I don't want to be anything like that. What?
There's better firefighters.
That's it. That's what you have to assume. But I also know that you don't want to have a show that's just showing all straight white dudes that are running the firehouse because that gives nobody the fucking idea. You don't want Kai to ever see, never see a black guy playing piano.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can show him everybody playing a piano, or if you just showed him all Asians playing a piano, it'd be just like, well, why would I do that?
Yeah.
Right? Like you want to show him, no, you're not the first black kid to play a piano. Right? And then go. And I've only been told, I can just assume that's a thing, but you understand, I could just be told that has to happen. Right? Like, because I don't need to see a black kid playing piano. I've seen it doesn't. I'm not also ever going to be the type of person that said there's tons of black kids playing pianos. Because I know that maybe without purposely looking for them, they would never get shown. Like the guy that shows, who's the guy that, the black guy that talked people out of the KKK? There's a guy that's gone around and his story is a great, great story. And I'm only bringing it up because he got into that deal by playing piano. And having fucking old stupid rednecks say to him, I didn't know a black guy could play a piano like that.
What?
That's what his story is.
Where does R&B and freaking soul music come
They weren't
from?
educated. They weren't shown that. And that's the argument of DEI. It's like if that's not done, then nobody's going to get to the fire department.
That's fair.
And so I get that. But it's easy to point out did this person get this job only because of DEI, right? And we don't know. Right, that's the thing, and to use that as a chance to have that argument when there's this massive disaster. It's not, you know what I mean? You also could just go, who the fuck cares about figure skaters? Right,
yeah.
Wow,
nobody.
You know what I mean? It's just they're just we don't really watch, but no, it's not it's such a.
It's a bigger than us moment.
Yeah, it's not a time for that to use on that. It's not a reason. Take the fucking L.
Yeah.
It was on your watch.
Yeah.
This is the thing. If it was 4 years ago and Biden just came in and replaced all of fucking his people and had this FAA, you know what I mean? Trying to take regulations out of this fucking very important thing that might need to be regulated. Mm-hmm. And then a disaster happens for the first time in decades. They would be down their fucking throat. They would be impeachable fucking offense. They would be saying this fucking blah, blah, blah. But he pushes it off. He pushes the blame. He never takes the L.
Yeah.
And that's gross.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
I
not
agree.
and I hate and so it's make gross. So for a person like Tammy who hated him in the first, it's just she can't stand it. She was just I can't. What am I going to do? Not listen or read the news for 4 more years? She can't stand this guy.
Yeah,
and I see it.
And he's a guy who's gonna want to be in the news every day.
They put him in the news. I can tell you from the first time before he got elected, the CNN who would supposedly hate him was the reason he got into fucking the news in the first place. But they couldn't stop putting him on TV.
They're not going to stop. I remember
of course
after he lost to Biden,
bite.
I just remember it was a couple months. It was just there was really nothing really going on. I was like, holy. I was thinking we just dealt with 4 years of constant Trump and now we have a silence. It didn't last long, but a couple months is good enough. And I was like, damn, I don't hear any controversial takes or anything. It only took 2 years for him to be falling downstairs and shit. But I'm just saying, it was a little bit of a break, right? We could
you're right. There was that.
That's peace for a little bit.
That's the flow. And
and we're going back to non-peace for, like Tammy said, not watch the news for 4 years. We're going to get this for 4 days in, and look what we're getting.
Yeah, and so I'm not even trying to get to the beginning of the conversation on it. Those are my thoughts on it now. There's nothing that this guy, all the things that I thought were good about him, are washed. I don't believe him anymore. I feel like I said before on another show or whatever, it's I was just caught up in this momentum. I thought I knew what I wanted to see. I couldn't see. I thought I really saw what I don't know.
Well, nobody's all bad.
No. But I'm missing the balance.
Yeah,
I'm missing the balance. I just want to show you this fucking video, and I'll just say it to anybody because it's an Italians Got Talent video, and I'm going to send it to you after the show, or whatever. But it's this balancing act, not her standing on a ball or fucking on a chair. It's the most incredible thing I've ever fucking seen, and it's just all hanging on a thin thread of balance. You know what I mean? It's hard for you to tell, but just Google Italy's Got Talent balance, and hopefully I'm trying to talk come. And it's just it's amazing, and to see that, just balance is the key for everything.
But it's not easy then.
What?
Balance.
Yeah, I mean, so I think you make balance look easier when I try to say that I have to remind myself I don't have an infinite amount of Mondays. So let's just thrive about this Monday. Let's make this Monday positive. Like I'm almost out of January, the Monday of fucking months. I think that's a funny thing to say, but you know what I mean? Like, look at that. We're
So
fucking closer
true.
to fucking doing it. And
so true.
it'll actually carry for at least another 2 weeks because it's not like, you know, it's got a couple more fucking weeks before this heavy winter is going to fucking still be here with us. But for the first time in ages, things are going, it's not, I don't know, I just told you, I almost wanted to stay late last night. I could have found reasons to go to work today. And even just for money reasons, I could go in on Saturday. But more it has to do is I'm really involved I'm back building those fire trucks and I get to do it and I want to do it. I'm not fighting against any of it. It's the desire to stay home and drink margaritas and play video games. It's more like the fight against not going to work, right? But that's being a baby, and that's new. And I've had to do that for so long. I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to whine about life being like that or whatever it is, because everybody has to do something. But the fact that I can't just do that is like a baby thing to think of, and that's where I'm coming from. Oh, I don't want to do my own thing. Instead of that. So I got to look at it more positively. And that balance is very hard. It's easy for me to say it now because I haven't worked all day and I got a little buzz and all that. But it hasn't been as easy as I've wanted it to be. Even with my dieting, like I've only stopped the gravy train. I haven't like gained anymore, but I haven't lost anything out of the 3.5 weeks now. I've only lost 1 pound. And I lived in that frustration for a couple dark weeks. Not dark. That's like over exaggerating it.
I mean, you seemed pretty down about it when you first.
Yeah.
brought it
So,
up.
but I've gotten out of that a bit. Only for the fact is just like it's a marathon. It's not a race. Whatever I'm still doing to myself because I'm weaning off. Like instead of saying life is unfair, and I kind of said that to you at that time, but it wasn't. I recognize that's not the problem. I recognize that it's me. It's like that balance of just like letting this journey like happen with the fucking desire for it to happen now. Like that's where Ozempic, I think for me, like it could help and do all that kind of other things, right? But it's if I can't do it on my own, I'm just going to gain it back anyway. I still did over years later. But if I find an easy way to do it, then I'll find an even easier way to put it back on.
For sure. But my counter to that is, wouldn't you see what you did and what you lost and try your best not to put it back on, type of a thing? Because I've heard this argument before, like where they say you come off of it and you'll gain back the weight. But I don't know if I'm just speaking about me. I would find it hard to go through all that and already knowing how hard it is to do it the hard way, right?
Yeah, you're right.
To not be like, oh my God, I can't let this happen again, because it's already a pain in the ass.
You're right. Like it's hard to pull holes in your argument. The thing that I can say is that it's not happening overnight. It's a longer thing. Like you just slowly devolve and you slow and before you realize
But you don't hit the stop button at some point. I mean, I didn't. I'm guilty of not doing it. Like you
right.
remember me. I was like 200 and something pounds, and I was panicking. Remember, I was eating salads for weeks because I was like, oh, how did I do this again?
Yeah, I recognize all of that. And I see that, and you would think that would happen. The fact for me personally is that I mean, yes, I can, just like I use tools all the time to make things easier for me, whatever, technology or other fucking shit. My thought of like using something like that, which seems like an easy fix, makes me not respect the work that I'm going to put into it. Yeah. I'm just guessing on that. Yeah. I'm not saying that it's just another thing, and then I use all other different reasons.
Well, being hypothetical.
It's just a hypothetical, but it's also coming from a place that I still know you can do it without the fucking magic drug. And I think that's more rewarding.
Yeah, but why?
Yes, why? It's the same thing when the Buddha says I fucking practice levitating and I can walk across a river. Yeah. Like for 20 years I practice this mindfulness. And then the Buddha says, well, the fairy's a nickel.
Exactly.
Right? Like why are you walking over water?
You literally said it earlier today. I'd just rather pay to have your internet fixed. So
I see that. If I went to a doctor and asked for it, and I got it, then I don't know. I'm not there yet. Like the problem is changing my mindset.
Sorry.
Don't forget you. Yeah, you're so annoying to people like me that when it comes to this.
I know, but you help me out too.
Yeah.
I have my issues too, Jay.
Yeah. See, so then your issues don't mean as much to me as my issues, and I think your issues are ridiculous.
Well, I would help you out. How about that?
That's nice of you. It's nice of you. Brian's talking that he's trying to talk to people that are eligible for Ozempic to get it and let him try it so he can fucking shed
I just
fucking
need
like
2
a
shots.
quarter inch that he can pinch on his fucking belly.
It's not, Jay, it's at least 3
And so he's
inches.
like talking for people where like other people are struggling for stuff. He's just like the ultimate fucking
I'm not trolling.
bullshitter.
I'm not trolling. I'm
No.
being
He
dead
wants
serious.
it for real. No. And that's what makes it even more annoying. Like you're legit. Like you're somebody that like just I don't know. Like I'm mocking you for not doing the work that I need to do for myself. Like that's where I look at it.
We need to switch.
Yeah, that'd be great. But I think that's just that different mindset. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I don't know what. So where I got to is that balance. Like my desire for the outcome and the work that has to get put into it and living in it is just the balance of letting it all play out. It's different than the political thing we're talking about. This is all for me internally.
Yep.
And so I get into a dark place where the fucking scale wasn't going my way, but it's like the almost exact conversation I would have with myself is like, hey buddy, listen, when you did this before, like your January 1st was in March for a reason. Like you hate winter, you get all this fucking stuff. Like it's hard to just come from Christmas and cut yourself off. It'll make you jump up to other things. And so I looked internally and said, well, why aren't you losing the weight? Well, you know what? You are still eating some chips on the weekend. Like you are, you know what I mean? Still eating bread. You are still doing this, even though it's way less than I did before. I'm looking at the fact that I haven't had fast food for fucking over 3 weeks or 4. Like, and just like, how come I'm not like 10 pounds lighter now? And it's just like, well, no, you would have been fucking 4 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Or 2 pounds. That's what it is.
Yeah, for sure.
And then it's a freeing thought. It's like, oh, you are doing the work.
Yeah.
My evidence was wrong. I'm looking in the wrong place for my evidence.
Going down isn't the only win.
That's what I'm saying. Like I feel a little stronger for doing like my little exercises, and I feel a certain way. Even with the heart, like the monitor, like my zones have gone up because of different things. Like it's harder to get like zone minutes and all this other shit.
Speaking of which, sorry to cut you off.
No.
Probably this is more of a derail. I saw this video on YouTube, and it's David Goggins, and I was like, because sometimes I'm lazy to do my workout, and I'm just like, fuck, like I don't want to do a workout, like fuck this shit. And so David Goggins is like, this is a good 30 push-up workout, but it's freaking hard. And I'm like, 30 push-ups? Like, I can fucking do 30 push-ups. Like, that's nothing. This is nothing. So he starts the video and he goes, so this is 30 push-ups. It's just 30 push-ups, and the only rules are you have to have your arms at a 45-degree angle, which is whatever, and every push-up has to be a proper push-up. I'm like, fuck that. Like, fuck, that's easy. He's like, we're playing this song, and then the song tells you to go up or go down. So you have to hold it down or hold it up. Wow. And I'm like, I'm doing it. It's 5 minutes. I'm like, this is going to be great. 5 minutes, I can get a quick workout. If I'm just really not in the mood, I can at least do something. Like, I'm doing it. So I did the first workout. I think I got 4 push-ups in before I was shaking. I was like, holy shit. And so, yeah. That was it. Just reminded me when you said like feeling stronger, and I'm like, I actually been doing it consistently. Like, so I did it 3 times. I worked out twice this week, and I did that the other 3 days that I didn't work out. It's so hard, but I can actually get to 6 push-ups now. So hey.
So I'm impressed. I mean,
do you want the video?
No, I can Google David Goggins. I'm scared of David Goggins.
Oh, that guy's
like I know
crazy.
I'm too far away from it. Like I haven't used, so that tool to me is better than Ozempic.
Jay,
you're just being lazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're
that's not the right
lazy.
way.
We're lazy.
Yeah, I get
creatures.
it. I get it.
We're
I'm
lazy
picking and choosing where I want to be lazy.
But why?
I don't know. I'm not. I don't want to hang up on this Ozempic part.
I know, but it's like a stigma.
It is.
And people always say like I was talking to Caleb and Alvin at work, and Caleb's like, no, my Ozempic is the gym and weights. And I'm like, what the fuck are you in freaking 1999?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I think the bigger stigma of humans other than exercise, I just think that's like something that's driven for money mostly. Both are, right? Pharmaceuticals or the fitness industry is so big they're not going to let that die. Oh yeah, they're going to shame you into not using Ozempic. But the biggest stigma about humans is the fact that we will pay for convenience. And that is one of the common things that we've done since the beginning of time. We've paid for horses, paid for cars, paid for all airplanes. Like we've done all these things for convenience, but why does it stop at fitness? It shouldn't.
But it's your mindset's going to win out. That's why they're hard to get. Like
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. I
no,
forgot about that part.
you're just talking to me and Caleb and people like you're concentrating on that.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fact that every single person that you think you see lose weight, you think like I know how they lost weight. Like I'm not even coming from that. Like no matter what, even if I do it myself, the stigma that I had Ozempic is going to be there.
Yeah.
Like just to a stranger, like they're either going to think I'm lying or fucking that oh that was an Ozempic.
But
case.
you could easily turn it around. Oh, you lost all that weight? Was you Ozempic? Yeah, I'm not a peasant. I just paid
So
for
I'm
it.
not. I want to get
What,
off
you
my
change
high
your
horse.
own tires and your own oil too, buddy? Like what the fuck are you
You're
talking
right.
about?
No, I've heard that.
Probably from me too.
No, I know that's the case. I think one of my issues is from what I hear, like especially on my own Twitter, where I have a couple one fitness influencer that I like every occasionally like get across, and his message gets into my head. Is that even if you're on Ozempic or any of these other ones, you still have to. If one of the things that bad that can happen is you need to. Concentrate on eating proteins because you're going to be a little bit more deficient in that.
Which you
and you
should do
still have to
anyways.
weight chain.
Yeah.
And I understand that, but I think because of how I treat convenience that I don't also do the work. I just rely so much on the convenience, just like my Wi-Fi. Hey, I can call somebody to make this work. Hey, I can just take more pills. Sure, like whatever. I don't recognize the lack of muscle building material. I just look at my scale.
For sure. But when it came to your Wi-Fi, you still had to do troubleshooting. It's not like you just immediately picked, and that's the same thing with the Ozempic thing. You still got to do something.
I find I would
diet is the majority of weight loss, not exercise is the majority. It's diet that's the majority. So that would to do a couple weights a couple times a week, 3 times a week, 2 times a week, it would probably be enough.
No, it's not doable. I'm saying though, as a fucking creature of convenience, I just like dive into it, and my tendency would be just like I don't know, I don't trust myself to not just stay on the easy path and just just half-ass it. Like if I can only half-ass it with the drugs, like I'm just worried. I'm in this weird sense too. I like my mind all through. I'm not scared of weed or alcohol. And a guy who took a lot of fucking acid, not a lot, but enough acid. But I've not taken Molly or ecstasy or anything. I'm a little bit hesitant for mind altering drugs right now for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not. So what the Ozempics and the things do to your mind, I'm a little bit hesitant for. Like obviously, I need to. I don't want to be stagnant. So it's not like my mind isn't evolving and all that too or whatever. But I'm scared to how it might fix me.
I think that's probably going to be more of a hormonal thing.
Yeah, so I'm scared of that, like how that deals, you know what I mean? Like, because they say it also takes other desires away from you. And like I've said before, like I'm scared to not live in the peaks and valleys that I've always lived in.
Well, you can come off if you realize that it's something that's it's not addictive, right?
I don't know how you don't call something that for a fat guy to something that makes you lose weight not be addictive to take.
That's true. That's
Like it's not these. Even the thought of it is the reason why I have this conversation is because it's fucking with me like that. Like Tammy has none of these reservations with her journey on how to whatever her issues are. She would love it. If fucking just magic, if she could just fucking, she would just magically take it right now.
Like you said, me and Tammy.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like
so similar.
Yeah, I get it. Like, so you recognize that's. So I understand that. I'm surrounded by these people that think like that. It's like I don't know what my hang up is. Like I don't.
Well, I think price would be like that's my only hang up.
I mean, at this point, with my dark days in the thing and with it, I would like to see how it worked. With seeing how. Like not just fucking celebrities or whatever, like seeing real life versions of how this thing works, it'd be like, God damn, like I could use the help. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to build this TV that is me. Like I gotta go to Taiwan. Like, you know what I mean? I need the outside help here and see it. So that's why they are a marvel, and that's why there's different versions of them. That's why they're not going away anytime soon.
Oh, they're only gonna be more abundant.
And that's fine. I don't even think I'm gonna fight this like forever. I don't know. I trust me. A thought of me has come. Is should I go to a doctor and tell them that like my whole journey? You know what I mean? And now I'm back to like where I am, and I'm trying to like reverse it, and like I might need help. And then I feel like a little bitch because like, well, how long have you been trying? 3 weeks. You know what I mean?
You've
Like
been trying for years.
that's what I tell. Yeah,
It's an up and down thing. It's not a consistent straight try.
I could frame it like that, but in
Yeah,
my mind, I know I
100%.
haven't really tried for a while.
Oh, you had surgery, so you know.
Yeah,
you
now I
slipped
just
off
feel
here
like
and
an
there.
excuse bitch.
It's not, but it's like that's just life in general, right?
Yeah, I feel like I could go there.
Nobody stay. You got this, Jay.
No, I feel like I could go there, but I don't know. Like I said, I recognizing I don't know what my hesitancy is, like trying to explain it to you what it is.
Yeah.
But that thought has gone into there. It's not a complete denial of ever trying this shit.
A lot of it's also newness.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, I get it.
I mean,
I get it. I see it like that, but I see so. This is different. Like it's not saying just to derail because there's no such thing because we'll just keep talking. But back to the tariffs and all that kind of thing or whatever. One of the things is to be more buy Canadian stuff. And one of our things that our buddy Doug Ford was saying is like to stop buying U.S. alcohol.
Yeah.
We as Canada are like the biggest consumer. I guess like
I don't know if we're the biggest consumer of their alcohol.
yeah, their alcohol. They export most of their alcohol to Canada.
Yeah, for sure.
Nobody else is like I guess maybe California wines but nobody across the pond is fucking buying American alcohol like we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they have nobody else. That's what I'm saying. You have nobody else to sell it to.
Yeah.
Right? Like so like you're just gonna shoot yourself in the own foot. So can you boycott US liquor?
Easily.
Like I don't know how deep it is in our like
Easy.
Is all our tequila come straight from Mexico?
The mandate for something to be called tequila says that it has to be made in Mexico.
So that's the only thing I really care about.
Yeah, so we're good on that front. And then beer is another benefit to us because Canada's the beer capital of the world. Like most beers are actually brewed in Canada. So why would I care about beer? I'm drinking Sleeman's Canadian beer. I'm drinking Canadian beer all the time. And other than the Canadian beer, I drink Mexican beer. So I don't even care.
But Molson is owned by Budweiser.
No.
The Anheuser-Busch has owned Molson's for a long time.
For sure, but that's
Or Coors,
Molson's.
one of the two.
But which one do you drink?
I drink Sleeman's.
And that's not owned by them.
No, I get it. I don't know if it is or I don't know what the umbrella company is of this.
So Sleeman, I'm pretty sure it's in Sleeman's in Guelph.
No, I get it, but I'm just saying how even the fact Molson Canadian, which is the staple, whatever, that's been American for quite a while.
For sure, but when have you bought a Molson?
No,
beer?
not me personally, but I'm saying so I don't know how that affects.
I don't know anybody who drinks Molson.
But yeah, well, they exist somehow. I mean, somebody's fucking buying their shit.
Yeah, the Americans. They're buying it.
Yeah, they love our beer. You're right.
We're drinking freaking Sleeman and Steam Whistle and all these kind of stuff that are inherently Canadian because, you know.
So what would
I'm
be
fine.
U.S. liquor? Just like Jack
a lot
Daniels?
of vodkas, a lot of whiskeys and stuff. Well, not even because some whiskeys are Canadian whiskeys are actually in high regard.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So I think most of the vodkas, even though there is a lot of Canadian vodka, but nobody buys Canadian vodkas and shit.
Yeah, I get it.
Rums, I don't drink. I don't know any American rums that I drink. Most of them are like Caribbean rums usually.
So are those not made by like an American company that just like again fucking like is just taking the Jamaican resources? You know what I mean? Like is that a
It
real
could
Jamaican
be,
company?
But I think Appleton's for sure is an actual still Jamaican company. So I don't know. And when what's his name? Doug Ford released a list of like he didn't release the list, but the news released a list based on what he would say of all these like things that would potentially come off. And I was like, I don't even know half of these and I don't drink the other half. So I am not worried at all.
Okay, good. Well, I didn't know. So there's no sacrifice you have to make in this situation.
No sacrifice at all.
Interesting. Okay, I was curious on that one. What do you think is better for me? This is not a tariff thing, or is it? For me personally, is tequila or beer? Like drinking. So like 26er is 26 shots. So that's like 13. I could probably stretch that out to like 15 or 16 margaritas. that lasts me. Like, I can make that last like an hour.
Yeah,
hour and
but
a
how
half.
does the buzz hit you?
I don't know. Like, I'm not drinking to like I'm already buzzed on other things.
The only thing we got to do is
I bet you
figure it
the
out.
tequila buzz would fucking
Oh, for sure.
hit me harder.
But in a margarita, though,
Well, this is why, because I don't have to worry about any of the cranberry. You know, it's my health drink now. So I was just curious on if I should try like a weekend with no beer and just margaritas.
I think you should try a weekend with one and a weekend with other. Can you do that?
And have no margaritas.
No margaritas. Yeah.
The fact that would be more upsetting to me than no beer tells me what I should do.
So are you seasonal when it comes to your alcohol? Because I'm seasonal. I drink way more beer in the summer months than I do in the winter months.
I probably do too, but no, I drink. The only reason why I have not been drinking as much beer this winter is to lower my consumption. Excuse me. This is where like a bit of it started. You know what I mean? Like what's better for me calorically? A shot like a margarita with cranberry juice, where the only bad thing is the fucking the liquor.
Yeah.
Or a beer, which again has low calories in its light beer, but all the basically bread of it all.
Yeah.
But even though it's low carbs, I still don't trust all the other ingredients in it to not make me fat.
But it's delicious.
It's so delicious.
Yeah.
And have it. So I can consume beer like all day, every day. Like it's not that the margaritas is to be honest with you, to be purely honest with you, maybe not a restaurant margarita because I'm particular on how I make, you know what I mean? Like whatever with my thing. Like I would give up beer before margaritas right now.
What?
I think like, you know what I mean? Like at home. Just because it's so refreshing, like the taste of the ice.
But so is beer is so refreshing.
Yeah, I don't need to be put in this position.
This is a terrible position.
Yeah, that's why I thought it'd be good to talk about. Like, I don't know. Other than what you said, is just like maybe pure.
But then margaritas are good in the summer too because it's freaking a slushy. So it's like,
Like I want to live in a world where both can exist. Like I don't need to make this.
I mean, you can make a
proclamation.
beerita.
No, so you can't because that's a false thing. You can do it not as blended.
Yeah.
Because once you put a carbonated,
it's gonna
we
go
tried to do it
crazy.
with Diet Coke and it was flat as fuck. Like Tammy wanted to try
Yeah,
the.
nobody wants flat beer.
And then, there is no beerita. Beerita is a thing you get in a restaurant where they put a fucking upside down Corona in your margarita.
Oh, those are good though.
Yeah,
The
that's not
Bulldog,
bad.
those
Yeah.
are pretty good.
But that's why I'm having a fucking cranberita because I'm fucking having, like, I want it to be healthier. So, like I said, it's all the other shit, like all the other ingredients in the beer that are leading to me to be, you know what I mean, like, or whatever. Like that's a detriment to my diet more
Okay,
than the shot.
Healthier, and I say this reluctantly, would be the margarita at this point because it's not as it's a homemade margarita, and everything homemade is healthier.
Interesting.
Right? You got your ice, you got your cranberry juice,
Yeah.
and you got your tequila, which isn't that bad for you. You mean it comes from
So this is what we're talking about. We're
agave.
talking about the caloric intake of the 1 little ounce shot
Yeah.
and the fucking tall boy beer.
And if you're serious, you could get freaking 0-calorie cranberry juice.
Oh, no, I guess it's basically zero cranberry. It is.
Oh,
No, that's
so
what I'm
then-
getting.
Oh, so then you're way healthier.
So that's how, yeah, maybe like not from my liver. Is a shot of tequila worse to my liver than the beer?
Livers are overrated.
Yeah, I get it. That's fine. I'm not talking about it.
Livers are overrated.
Fuck, I was watching this weird thing. This is a total fucking diversion. I was watching my island show and they were talking, they were buzzed out of why these sharks were behaving in a certain way and had to do with that they were scared of killer whales.
Oh,
right? Like,
yeah, killer
killer
whales are
whales are
crazy.
like fuck them up. And so they started talking about these incidences where killer whales are like attacking sharks. And just like a fucking precision human, like they just go for their liver.
Yeah.
Like their liver is like a big part of their, like the percentage of their body, whatever. And all these fucking sharks with their livers strategically fucking taken out of them.
Yeah.
I'm like, how does a fucking whale take a fucking liver out of a shark and only the liver? That's crazy to
They're
me.
super smart.
They're so smart.
Yeah.
They're fucking so.
There's been
they're
documented of incidences of dolphins killing sharks.
Oh, I know dolphins. I know they're super smart, but like and I can sense that they attack the liver, but the ability. Like we have to take our great hands and use a tool, you know what I mean? To fucking open them up and get a
boxers do
liver.
liver shots.
What?
Boxers do liver shots. Right?
No, but they don't cut you open to take it out with their gloves on.
No.
Like a fish has got to, like
They just
boxing gloves.
punch it.
It'd be like a surgeon with their gloves on taking a liver out. Like I know it's not clean cut like that,
Yeah.
but the fact that the shark is not mangled. The shark is just like it's precisionally cut. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like one little, you know what I mean? Like they've just, everything else is left. They just
That's
go for the liver
crazy.
just with their face. Like, you know what I mean? Like just with your face. Open a can of tuna with your face.
No, fuck that.
You can't. You can barely
can't
open a
do
can
it.
of beer with your face.
Exactly.
Like and you probably bust a couple of teeth if you did
For
it.
sure.
So I was watching that. That's crazy. That it just went to a liver thing.
That
was-
is kind of crazy.
I know. I'm throwing that out there. What else I want to throw out there fucking separately? So this is a little bit of a sad season for me because my beloved football, which they were fucking fantastic weekends. Since you asked, they were fucking great games on the weekend.
Oh, yeah?
Everybody that it almost went to the way I wanted, but it was, unfortunately, I won more money betting on tennis and golf than I did on football. But that's besides the point. The fact now there's only one more game left next week. So I'm in a lull. My life is changing.
What is that called?
The game? It's the big game. I think it's the Stanley Cup or something.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Right? It's got anyway. So the no, I'm not. I shouldn't fucking let you receive any fucking information from that. Stupid. So, but coming from that, there's nothing. There's all kinds of bets already to be made on the Super Bowl, right? Like football is all about betting. You can bet like the color of the Gatorade, the fucking coin flip. You know what I mean? Like the winning this, that, the other, and so.
Can I bet your coin flip for you?
No, because I don't do those ones. The bet site that I use. I like to make parlays, and I can't, out of those kind of futures, I haven't made a parlay bet. If there's an opportunity, because I don't want to make just one straight bet. I'm not that degenerate of a gambler where I need to make a whole bunch of $10 bets, like, you know what I mean, like one for one. I like my $5 to win me 100 or 50 or something like that. And so to bet the coin flip, you'd have to bet 100 to win 100.
Oh.
Right? Like I can't, if I can find a way on my site to tie it into other bets, then I'll let you know. So they have those kind of things, right? Like you said, sometimes they get into even deep, like how long the national anthem will be sung for.
What the hell?
Right? Like, so you fucking tie down who's singing it, how long they do, like, you know what I mean? Like they'll have a time, like above or below, like whatever, a minute and 30 seconds, right? And so you got that kind of shit. This year, then they have these other things, because fucking Taylor Swift's boyfriend is in the fucking thing. My website has the Super Bowl specials, and then they have these Taylor Swift specials. So they have all these different names of her songs, and then bets that correlate to the name of the song. So whatever, I don't know all the songs. So I'm reading this, like, so there's a song like 1989. So one of them is for her boyfriend to get like 19 catches, and one of them and for 89 yards total or whatever, and you win a big bet. Another one is like
At least,
yeah, anything over is great.
Yeah.
Another one is like Shake It Off, which is another song. And so for the Eagles to score first, and then Kansas City to win the game. So they're taking that as a Shake It Off. So they're playing on all these other different things or whatever. They do shit for the
marketing team is crazy.
That's not for her. That's just the
Guarantee
betting.
her marketing team is part of that.
That's the fucking betting marketing team.
She would sue the shit out of people for using her song names.
Oh, maybe.
She would sue
But I think it's
shit.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they're on there now. I don't know that. I don't know the details of all that.
She's massive though.
But this. Yeah, maybe she gets a piece of it. I don't know. But it's more of a fun.
Yeah.
It's more of a
for
just
sure.
a thing, because there are bets on things, because people go out of their minds about how much attention she gets for attending a fucking football game.
Yeah.
And they just think it's all fake. Like there's all kinds of conspiracy theories on her relationship with this guy, and it's just fucking retarded to me, whatever it is, right? Like nobody goes that deep into Russell Wilson and Sierra's fucking relationship, right? Or any of these other things,
no
right?
one cares about her though.
That's where it comes down to, why are you paying so much attention to this little girl? So they have that, but they also have why I bring this whole fucking thing up is not your buddy Kendrick Lamar is doing the halftime show.
Yep.
So there's tons of fucking bets on the halftime show. Like, what song is he going to do first? At first, it was the Not Like Us was the favorite, and now it's dropped down to Humble, or whatever it's called. And so they have like the list. How many diss songs to Drake will he play? Like,
He'll only play Not Like Us.
You don't think he'll play any other diss songs?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are real bets that you can do. Maybe not on my
crazy.
site, but on other sites. Other things that you can also bet on guest appearances, right? Like, will fucking Metro
Dr.
Boomin.
Dre, Metro Boomin.
Yeah, so all the way to even if Drake will show up.
That would be amazing.
3,000. If you bet $1, you can right now $3,000 you'll get if Drake shows up
as a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Honestly, if they were smart, they would do that.
Of course. Like it
They
seems
were
like a high odds.
Oh, man.
If that is on my betting site, I think it might be on. Like I said, I get to join one of these
And
other
it's only
sites.
$1?
Like it's 35 to 1. It's plus 35. So it's either
It's not worth
350 to
it,
1 or
'cause
3,000.
Drake's not doing that. And so, but I mean, that would be amazing.
I see a world where it happens, but
I don't
I'm so
know.
outside it.
He's
I was
suing
curious.
too much. He's suing too much.
All that shit gets like that. That's just part of the business.
For sure.
I mean, it's on the board, so you don't think it would happen. Like I said, it's very, very high odds.
No.
So now there's a chance. This is probably the part of, or not the only problem with gambling, but now that you've talked about it and it's not ever going to happen, and then when it happens, and we had a conversation about it 2 weeks ago, and you're like, oh, I could have just put $1. What if I put $10? Can you imagine if I put $100?
$1,000?
And then the next time it comes around, then you're this degenerate that's betting $10,000 that Rory McIlroy is going to make this fucking putt. And so he's just like, oh no, honey, we lost the house.
Oh my God.
But I thought that was interesing. I never
That's
really
crazy.
thought.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, so I'll keep you up on that, and I'll remind you of what your
My thing will
what
be.
you thought was going to happen, was going to do. This is again a little bit of a pivot. This is just another thing I saw. They think so. I couldn't even. What's the guy's name I was trying to say? Sente Kai
Sanat.
Sanat.
Yeah.
Is he a rapper? Like where's he famous
he's one
for?
of the biggest streamers right now.
Was that all he ever did? Was stream?
Yeah.
Did he stream video games at first?
I think he still streams video games, but he's like one of those typical streamers, like Adin Ross and stuff like
Nope.
that. So like they just basically talk and they do stuff. They get a lot of guests on their show. He just did like a marathon stream, which was I think like 60 days straight or something like that, 120, some shit like that, crazy. Where he rented a house. He had a whole bunch of guests come over, rappers and stuff. So he's like one of the biggest streamers. He's probably the biggest overall streamer right now.
Like that's how I've seen him. Just like presented to me on Twitter as every now and then. I don't know who, like how it comes through my mind, but he just looks like a typical streamer. Like I can compare to other people. That I only know like a No Life Shack from just doing music and whatever he does now. I don't know, right? But not that I care where they came from, whatever. But I was just curious. I thought he was a rapper at first.
He's a gamer,
and so that makes sense. I could see all that doing now. So did you see the video? I guess this was part of the streaming thing, and like I said, it's easy to not pay attention to him. I don't have much opinion of him whatsoever. Nothing bad, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's just whatever.
Yeah, he's just whatever. And so, but then I seen this one where, what was the first one? I think I've seen him with a fucking humanoid robot before. But then this week I seen him one with like an even better one.
Yeah.
Like a different one. So he had something like this before, I'm
And
sure.
he showed the website where he bought this one from too.
And so this one is a cool looking thing. And I just saw the clip of him and his buddies fucking pushing it around.
So you haven't seen this robot before?
No.
I've seen this robot before.
On
Last year
his?
at CES,
Okay.
they were showing like, but I'm a nerd, so I see this shit. But yeah, this robot is a real thing.
But
right?
did he have another version of this before this one? Or that's not even my point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I can recognize the ability for him streaming. It's worth it, even if like, he's got the money's not the problem. But just like the content is great. You know what I mean? Like having the ability to. It's just like watching somebody fuck with ChatGPT or play with AI. Like this is how it's in the tools of the everyday man, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like I can see somebody fucking around with it, and so it's cool. But to watch him use it, to see him like it was like it looked like he was bullying a fucking schoolboy.
Yeah.
And it seemed, I don't know. I know it's just a robot. It seemed wrong to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. So I have my theories on this.
What do you mean? I don't know. I'm not even, I don't know what you're getting at.
I think it was fake.
How, what, you don't think, what part of it was fake?
The whole thing. Firstly, because Kai Cenat has been, so he's a streamer that's an entertainer, and he's done fake stuff. Like one time he set off a whole bunch of fireworks in his house, and then they found out that it was fake, that he faked it.
Okay,
just
I might
for
have
a
seen
thing.
that.
So he does stuff like this, like, you know what I mean? Just for entertainment value, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But more so, there's this channel that I subscribe to. There are a whole bunch of video editors, and they're called, you might have heard of them, they're called Corridor Digital. No. So they're like really, really good editors, and they just like edit things. And they've done a series where they bully a robot, but this was the Boston Dynamics robot.
Okay.
And they bully it, and then the robot turns on them, and then he just starts going crazy and stuff. So I think he got the idea from that, and just he has the money to get an editor to be able to do these kind of things. So I don't think it was real. And when I was watching the video the first time, it looked a little suspect. Like after a certain point, it looked a little suspect. Like they weren't really there.
So what was it there? You think the robot, like, okay, so I only saw like a minute and a half of a clip. And so I don't know how it started. I don't know how it ended.
So it starts by him pulling in a crate, this whole scene of the thing, because I think it was part of an 8-hour stream or something. Yeah. He pulls in a crate and says, so I got this robot, and he goes to the website and he shows that he spent $70,000 for it. And it's like a Chinese company and whatever. And then he opens the crate and he pulls the robot, and then he's moving the robot around like it's so heavy. And when you do things like that to like show that you're actually physically interacting, that's one of the things we learned. If you're gonna edit something out of something, you show that you react to it, and then you cut it, and then you edit it there, and then you don't really have to you don't have to interact with it as much, right? So that's what he was showing, that it's so heavy. He called his friend over. He showed, so he probably had the robot, and then when it starts, because there's a scene where it tries to run away from being bullied. No AI robot's gonna do that. Okay. That's never gonna happen. Yeah. So that's why I thought it was fake.
I'm not gonna dispute that. The part that disturbed me more is the psychological part of wanting to bully a robot. Like it's like I'm treating it like an innocent kid. Like it's you're just getting your jollies out of bullying somebody, right? And so I couldn't distinguish it as a machine. Yeah, I like the part was I wouldn't care if I seen him kick a wall or a TV or throw a piano or fucking anything. I would just think of him in that way, like whatever, like just slow down, like you're too much of a Gordon right now, right? Like you're fucking, I can see my instincts coming in and all that kind of thing, right? But the robot, like it's just like it's there to help you. It's like kicking a cat,
but there's nothing there, right?
But I recognize it as like kicking a dog or cat. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like,
but it's not.
I understand. It's me. I'm not saying it's a Kai Senti problem, whatever his name is.
No, I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's a irrational thought. I do think it's like, it's. I don't even know how to categorize it.
But I can't even slap my computer too hard, so I shouldn't.
So did it disturb you? Is it just a mistreatment?
So when I saw the Corridor Digital one, I was like, this is fucked up, because I thought this was real at first. So I was like, this is
I'm asking you as an experiment if it was real. Like, never mind.
No,
like, that's
I don't think
interesting.
it was real. But when I saw the first one, I thought it was messed up. I was like, why would you even do that? I think the problem is that, like you said, it's something to help you, and in that way, it's basically helpless. It's not going to do anything to you. It's not going to harm you, and then you find a pathway to destruction, and that's humans. We're fucked up like that.
Yeah, I hate that instinct. Like, I hate that. It gives me zero pleasure to watch it.
Like, I would never do something like that.
Yeah, but I don't know how. Like, I'm not even trying to think of the people that loved it, like, or whatever. What you get out of it, how you get off on. It's a bullying tactic. It's like fucking like Trump would love that.
I would be more suspect of people doing that in their homes rather than somebody doing it for entertainment value in a fake kind of a sense, because I just think it's fake, obviously. But like, he's obviously doing it for a reaction.
No. I want to take that out. I was concerned more.
So if I came to somebody's house and they had this robot and they would just walk up and be like, "Get me a drink," and he comes and gets him a drink and he grabs him and he slaps him over the head, or he kicks him, "Get out the way," and he kicks him out the way, I'd be like, what the fuck are you doing?
That's telling of that person.
Yeah.
That's like nothing to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's telling. You're interesting. I'm thinking. I recognize how you're looking at it. It's just like fake, though. But I'm just going by the reaction of watching it happen. Like, it's the same thing as like it elicited a minor fraction of the same of kicking a dog or cat or a kid, like of picking on somebody smaller than you.
Hey, we're allowed to kick kids.
See, that's the thing. Somebody comes over to your house, your kid brings you a drink, you smack him on the head, you kick him out of the way. I don't see much of a difference. I'm asking the wrong guy. I see here where we're coming from. Are your kids robots? I see what's going on.
I would never kick them if they were robots.
That's hilarious. That would never fucking well, they can't get much better at piano and basketball if they were robots, bro.
God. Oh,
they're doing good, man.
Yeah,
Kai's doing some Beethoven shit.
Yeah, he's learning Beethoven.
What's because however we've heard that song through our whole lives or whatever, and because I'm way older, I've heard it way more many times. That whatever, I can't even say it right. Is like, and struggle is not the right word. He's still practicing, so I can't come up with a better word. But when he's like working his way through it, and you're just like. You know what you want to hear next, right? Just like, and I can't imagine, but then he gets there, like it's so satisfying.
Yeah,
like it's both a struggle because you want him to just flow through it, but I think even the more beautiful parts are when he's just like that, like that half a second bad timing because he's got to stretch his fingers out a little bit more.
Yeah, because his hands are so
and
tiny.
we're just like, we're just seeing it, but then he gets it.
Yeah,
like it's so rewarding to see. Like I can't imagine as being his parent. Yeah. Seeing him do it,
especially see him because I always wanted him to learn this song, and I was waiting for the time that he got good enough to be able to play this song because it's in a whole bunch of different things. It's a lot more complicated than the songs in his book, right? And so when he got it, I was like, oh my God, he's gonna learn this song. Like this is a song that I want you to present to people.
Yeah, for sure, I see that.
And how he uses the full keyboard, like he has to use all over. All the songs were basically in like a 5, 6, 7 finger range. But now this is with his small hands. You're talking like 10 fingers across. He has to like stretch and do all this shit. And it just looks so good. It sounds pretty good. So I'm so happy that he's learning the song. That's a week and a half.
Yeah, man. Like, and even just from the video from last week and to hearing it live like this week, like I could sense the evolution of it already.
Yeah.
I can sense like the first 3 seconds or 4 seconds are bang.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and now, like, it's just now I retaining all that for the whole song.
Well, he hasn't actually learned the second part yet.
No. It's like, I don't even,
crazy.
I don't even come across any
No, I know.
It's all impressive to me. I see it as like that level up is like, if he goes back to Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Stars, he's going to kill it. He'll be fucking like Ray Charles, fucking looking the other way, fucking like with one hand playing shit. Yeah, that took forever to fucking do.
Yeah.
Right? And so
it is cool. It is cool.
And like, because he's way up into that other one.
Yeah.
So just throwing that Beethoven shit into him now where technically it might be too advanced, but no, like it enforces everything else.
Yep. His teacher and his teacher's mom say he's advancing. They said, this is what they said to Selena, so take it with whatever how you wish. They said he is the student who is advancing the most. Like his progression is so fast.
There's no reason for them not to tell you that if it wasn't true.
And the mom told Selena that, so I'm like, holy.
I'm really impressed with that kind of focus. And so
especially a kid with ADHD like him. So
it's just one of those things where you just got to focus it in.
Yeah.
Whatever internally he gets at, like it's again the kudos to you guys for presenting it to him, right? Like for you, it's the way it's computers or whatever other things, right? Like for him, it's expressing himself again with his art. Like who knows, you know what I mean? Like it's just important for his development. Like it's the one thing where he might be able to get back to. It's like, yeah, I'm ADHD, but I know I can focus.
Yeah.
So now I can do this for my math test or whatever the fuck it is.
That's exactly part of my thought process. He needed something like that.
And it's so when it is channeled and when he's old enough to recognize that concept or whatever and figure it out on his own or be told it, that's really cool. And at the same time, the traditional route that we would all think, like me, and not nobody else is doing piano, but Cyrus killing it in basketball.
Yeah.
Like that, again, the obvious thing to say for you is like, so he's jumped up to another league, he's playing in a house league, and he's doing that for like a week and a half now or whatever, right?
No, it's been 4 weeks, but 1 week has been his actual season. His regular season started the past Sunday.
And was he did 4 other Sundays before that?
3.
Oh, okay. So
3 before. But those were just like training and exhibition type stuff, evaluations.
I can see not just his abilities, but I can see how maybe he's being coached better.
Yeah.
I can see how maybe he's recognizing like game, like whatever, like situations. The thing that's great about him, and the many is like he has zero panic in his game.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's, you know what I mean? Like he just... There's no faking it. He just looks like he knows who to pass it to, when to pass it. He knows how to steal a ball off of fucking somebody. Just like he did in soccer, like he's very good at attacking the person with the ball.
Yeah.
And like however doing it fairly or not. Like it's just like soccer, you never saw him do any kind of dirty tackle or do anything. It's just his energy and his ability to see the whole field, figured out where he should do it. So it's beautiful to see the same thing happening in a totally different sport. And seeing how how big the fucking basketball is to his little body. Like he's just like the fucking basketball fucking like he's almost hidden by the basketball if it's fucking bouncing it down too much. And I'm not even saying what's more impressive. In my mind, the piano is more impressive because I've seen a million people do basketball.
Yeah.
Right? Like but it's not the fact that he's like, it made me want to say like, this kid should be put in every sport that he could be fucking found.
Yeah.
Like he's going to excel in anything.
My cousin said the same thing. He's like, I think you could put that kid in everything and he's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't know what what is that? Is that just like a gene? I have
no idea.
Like an ability to see the field? Like I don't know, right? Like
I have no idea. But we go to drop-in basketball at the sports center every Saturday. And so I try to work on some things. Like they play one-on-one with Kai. I think that's a benefit because Kai is so tall.
That's true.
And like he always gets blocked by Kai because he's just things like that. And then when he plays against smaller kids, it's like he's not really concerned or he's not worried about any of those kind of stuff. So I think it's a combination of his ability and playing with an older brother. He's played with an older brother on everything, soccer, basketball. So I think that helps, not as much as his natural abilities to do stuff, because a lot of his stuff, I have no idea I don't know how he comes up with it.
That's the surprise. That's a good way to put it. It just seems like pure natural ability without thinking about what you just said. That's a very good thought.
And when you guys come to a game, you can talk to him about things that he did and he will tell you why he did them.
See, it's
crazy.
That's a true like natural sports guy, whatever you want to say. Like I would love to just see how fast he would learn to skate.
I know. I want to put him in skating.
I would love to. I would guarantee he would pick it up. Fucking like I don't think he has any disability. I think putting him in a fucking go-kart. Like I think anything that's physical, like hand coordination.
Yeah.
Like he just to be so general. His temperament just seems to not have the patience to do a piano or any arts kind of thing.
Yeah.
Would never want to put that limitation on him.
No, he doesn't. It's even the same thing with the fact that he has his computer and stuff. He will not sit on that thing all day. He will end up going in the basement and kicking a soccer ball or playing basketball. He gets off that stuff very quickly, while his brother can easily stay there all day if you don't bother him.
So how do you go back to balance? How do you know what I mean? Like again, like you want to put the piano in front of Kai, like that. He's older, so maybe it's more important to think about him in those different ways.
Yeah.
And he has the ADHD. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more consideration to go with that. Is just talking about it? It seems easier to just let him be Sire be so sports oriented.
Yeah.
And just because he doesn't like the computer or doesn't like other things like that, it's like that makes it more important that we got to make you do it too.
Yeah.
Like it's almost just like fucking. You don't want it to just be a jock.
For sure.
That I don't know how you force. Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't know when you got to start thinking about that.
We already force him more or less. Like he's forced to do already homework and stuff on it during the week. They have like an hour a day to do homework only on their computers, and for Kai on the weekends. They have every weekend is like a 2.5 hour, the internet blocks off, their computer's locked. So they got to go find something else to do. And in the mornings, they can't go on their stuff immediately because it's all blocked. So typically what Kai does in the morning is he'll play piano in the morning, freaking 6 a.m. You know what I mean? And then...
Noise canceling headphones.
Or they go downstairs and they play sports until that stuff happens. But yeah, so it actually does balance out well.
Good.
Because of whatever rules that we've put in, but
I can see that
they're pretty good with it so far.
I also just think of myself because I said before, like he benefits with getting things that Kai got, like we had to wait, like because he's got an older brother, so he gets like that other thing. But it's also hard to remember, and this for me to say, I'm sure it's not for you. It's like like he is 4 years, like he is immature compared to Kai. You know what I mean? Like there is reason to expect more from Kai than Sire.
Oh yeah,
like in a maturity type of way.
For sure.
And I wonder though how hard it is to not just treat him as mature as you treat Kai. You know what I mean? Like because it's impossible to separate the two from the outside look. Like they both get to do everything, and so it's just like it's not. That's not like, okay, Kai, you get to stay up an hour later. Like maybe, you know what I mean? Like if Kai gets to stay up an hour later, I would imagine that I guess Sire does too. So he's treated more maturely than he actually really is.
So he has to grow up a little quicker.
Yeah, but then that's easier said than done when it comes to just wanting to play. That's why I recognize him just like wanting to leave the computer.
Yeah.
Where that's the last thing you would do in Kai, whatever it is. Just like fucking, I'm going to talk to my friend at school. I don't have to talk to him, you know what I mean? Like on the computer, whatever it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that much out of it because he's not as mature yet. He doesn't like recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll come and go. And so, yeah, not to pin that on, like to not wanting to, you know what I mean? They make him be as mature as his older brother because he's just not going to be. So
Yeah.
I can see that being the difference too. But that just shows how different they are. Like I said, like the sports, not that they both couldn't do each other things, but if I ever seen a natural athlete in my life, I've never saw them at 4 and 5 years old, at 6. So I don't know what it looked like until I seen it.
Have you seen their desks? Their desks are like, Sire's desk has like a little basketball Funko Pop and stuff, and Kai's desk has like some characters from a video game. Like,
That says everything, right?
Everything you need to know.
That's as an outsider, man. I love watching it. I love this. Like, I love the separation of the two. I love them becoming like the identity of who they are,
Yeah.
and it's not just that, but being
It sucked
great
to have
at
two
it.
of the same kids.
But they're great at it though, and more power to you. What I might have to just to close it all in is like, if my Wi-Fi and IPTV aren't working when I get back home, then I'm going to have to get some tips on what to do for 2.5 hours, like when I'm blocked, because I'm going to have the same kind of feeling. So I'm going to have to give Kai a ring and say, "What am I fucking supposed to do?
Exactly.
To go in the basement, play basketball? There's too much shit in my basement. I can't."
Oh my
All right,
God.
so I might need some little bit of help. So I might give you a call a little bit later.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for listening to the Work Related Podcast.
We are related by work on Twitter, and sorry about last week.
Yeah.
These things happen, but hope to see you guys next week.
Yeah.